Before you set a health and wellness goal for the coming year, for 2024, I'm never going to get used to saying that, maybe by July, make sure you're setting the right one. A goal that strikes a good balance between your body and your mind. Studio 5 health and fitness contributors Miki, Eberhardt, and Emily Nelson have helped us redefine wellness over the years, and they believe there's more redefining to be done. Today, they'll tell us what it means to be a well woman. I love this topic. I love both of you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We did not color coordinate, shockingly. but here
yes, we did.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny how that happens. How are you feeling about 2024, ladies?
Good.
Good?
Yes.
Good energy, good vibes.
I'm so excited about 2024. 2023 can go away in my opinion.
Do we feel like that every year, though? Like, okay, good riddance to that one. Here we go for a new one.
I was chatting with a girlfriend, though, and she said some years just produce better energy than most. Like you're forecasting, no crystal ball here, but forecasting like a good wave. And I'm kind
of... Even. I like even numbers. Let's go.
Even
Here we
numbers.
Go.
The well woman. Let's explore who she is because it's who we all want to be. And you two have come together, your expertise and your smarts, to create this horseshoe theory. This is your creation, and it perfectly describes the well woman. Set it up for us, Miki.
Okay, so in our discussions back and forth, I think with both of our collective experience, we see a different, like originally we were thinking like, okay, wellness is kind of on this continuum, but it actually isn't. It is a horseshoe shape. And what we mean by that, to describe this graphic, is we have wellness in like, to describe what a well woman would be, like these things at the top.
Yes.
A well woman has enthusiasm for life, plenty of energy, a strong sense of purpose, normal mood fluctuations, a feeling of well-being, consistent joyful movement, normal sleep patterns, peaceful relationship with food, they're socially active, there's connection and community, a sense of humor, and they're free of addictive behaviors.
Look how holistic that is.
There's no bullet point that's like, this is the size in the back of their pants.
Yeah, right, right. So where does the horseshoe come in?
So this comes in because you can see on that left side, maybe if you're new to wellness and I'm just starting out, I may have some of these unwell characteristics that are motivating me to try to do better with my wellness in mind, body, and spirit, okay? So I wanna try and kind of get going, and it may feel like a little bit of an uphill climb to begin, but the motivation to feel better is there, right? And as I become consistent with habits, I find that central spot where mind, body, and spirit feels good.
Yes.
What can happen here, Brooke, which is another reason for the horseshoes, if we continue around that curve, it can become a slippery slope where maybe it starts to focus more on size and how my body looks rather than how it feels. And I can fall down extreme wellness. Some of those characteristics there at the bottom for being unwell are the exact same.
Isn't that fascinating? I was just going to say that. Isn't that fascinating that when I am, quote unquote, unhealthful or unhealthy, the symptoms will manifest in the same way as if I'm obsessive or obsessive. How does this apply to fitness, Em?
Yeah, so we're just gonna wrap fitness and nutrition kind of into one. So on this unwell side, on the first side of the horseshoe, this looks like someone who has a very sedentary lifestyle, not prioritizing movement at all, kind of lethargic, also not paying attention to the foods they're putting in their body, listening to hunger cues, not listening to hunger cues. And why Miki and I do not believe in good food, bad food, we all can agree that lack of diversity in our diet with fruits and vegetables and whole foods and not paying attention to that leads to those things she talked about, depression, anxiety, gut health problems, all these things. And like we talked about, moving up can be very hard. So what does that look like for fitness? It doesn't mean, okay, it's a new year. I'm gonna exercise 60 minutes a day. I'm gonna eat absolutely perfect because we all know what happens. You're gonna slide right back to the bottom. You're gonna go back to that same sedentary lifestyle. So we just wanna slowly prioritize movement, 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, getting active and starting to feel the benefits of being a well woman. And that's gonna motivate you to keep climbing. We all know you can't run up a mountain the first time. You've got to step by step, and that's what that horseshoe looks like. And by prioritizing our nutrition and feeding and listening to our hunger cues, our full cues, diversifying our diet, adding in new things, we're gonna start to feel good. And we're gonna become a well woman and start to come up to this horseshoe at the very top.
What a visual you've painted with this, to think of that horseshoe and try to work and stay in the middle. With that, we're going to share today 5 ways to stay in that middle ground, to be that well woman. Miki, first you want us to remember our bodies are meant to change.
Yes, our bodies are. Let's normalize normal bodies. And the changes that happen as a woman, from puberty to moving out and being on our own to maybe getting married and finding that dynamic. If we choose to have children and we have this pregnancy, shrinking, expanding, hormones, menopause, our bodies are meant to change.
I heard a 50-year-old-ish woman say the other day, yeah, I'm postpartum. And I thought, yeah, like your
Yes,
body,
you
our
are.
body is. It was just an interesting way to self-identify, but it speaks to that experience and that
Yes.
evolution that you're describing.
And I think it's important that oftentimes the bodies that we may put up on a pedestal and strive to become may actually be unwell. And that's an important thing, that we are thinking, I need to do this, but let's put the guardrails in place that prevent us from also going down that slippery slope and becoming unwell ourselves.
Emily, you want us to be good caretakers.
Yeah, I think women are innate to be good caretakers to everyone around them. We've been given one body to take care of and be a caretaker of that. And it's an important job because we deserve that. Our bodies deserve that. They deserve to be treated with love and respect. You wouldn't say things, you wouldn't, starve someone you're taking care of. You wouldn't tell them to look a certain way. But yet we seem to belittle ourselves. We fall into these culture. We want to be a caretaker of ourselves and look at what would you do for others? Do that for yourself. We've used the analogy so many times of the dog breed. We have a beautiful golden retriever and a beautiful Chihuahua. Somehow we think we need to be this Chihuahua and do whatever it takes to get to that. But guess what? We want to be the best version of a golden retriever or the best version of Chihuahua. Yeah. Genetics plays so heavily on how we look, how we should be treating our body, how we should fuel it, how we should move it. Everything looks different. There's not one answer. And we want everyone to look inside and be a caretaker of their body that they've been given.
And none of this takes away from your advocacy for consistency. Like to climb that horseshoe, to move that needle, that's going to take steady movement.
We need effort. And it's important to remember that small changes that are more consistent are going to be significantly more impactful than big ones that are inconsistent. And so to Emily's point, 6 days a week, new year, here we go, and then I burn out in February, 2-3 days a week is still a habit. And
Slow
if I'm
and steady.
doing that over the year, way more impactful than 1 month.
These last two suggestions are important.
Yeah.
And they're out there. I mean, you're going to say it, and I'm proud of you gals for saying it. You want us to check our social media influences.
Yeah, I think it seems like, I don't know. What's in front of you, it matters.
Yeah.
It is the tipping point from a well to a slippery slope, sliding right into exercise addiction, eating disorders, seeing ourselves obsessive. What we see affects our mood. It affects our mental energy, and it's okay to unfollow, to mute people. Just because I mute someone does not mean I don't love them. I just maybe don't need that in my life right now, and call it out. And Miki's going to talk about that, but honestly, don't be afraid to mute your followers or who you're following, because it makes a huge difference, and I don't think we realize how much it plays into our psyche.
What are we calling out, Miki?
We're calling out diet culture. And as a reminder, what is that? It's when we see a heavy influence from social media, from marketing, which is really big right now, New Year's, to shrink your size. A smaller body means more than your health. That's what diet culture promotes. And so when we see it, we say, okay, diet culture, move along. And when we recognize it, we start to recognize it more and more and more. And that gives us guardrails from going down on that slippery slope. No, I'm going to go back up here. This feels better to my mind, body, and spirit than that. And being able to recognize the difference.
Here is to the well woman. Let us support
Cheers.
her. Let us be her. Cheers.
Because that's where the longevity and where health and wellness is, and what we preach is right there in the middle.
Thank you so much for your voice and your expertise and your encouragement and your love. We feel that. We appreciate it. Happy New Year, ladies.